Hi friends, it's Mary from Mary's Cup of Tea and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm making a long overdue video about breakups and how to deal with breakups and find self-love in the process. But before we begin talking about how to get over a breakup and find self-love, I just want to mention that I have an e-course on body confidence when it comes to dating, sex, and relationships. So this is going to be perfect for you as you get back out there, as you build your self-worth, as you strengthen that confidence muscle. This is the e-course for you. So it's all about how do you feel sexy in your skin and how do you feel confident in yourself as a person, especially when you're in partnership. So that e-course is linked down below for you. So without further ado, let's get to the video, how to get over a breakup and find self-love. So step one, and some of these steps are in order, some of them aren't, but this one is definitely in order because this is the first thing that you must do after a breakup, which is purge all those emotions out of your body. So you can cry, you can run, you can listen to music and cry with a bottle of wine in the tub, you can write out all your feelings, talk out all your feelings, do things that put the emotions out there and don't leave them stuck in your body. I don't know if you can relate to this, but one thing I tend to do when I go through something in my life is pretend like nothing happened and then I just move on with my life, or I stay super duper busy, or I do this whole thing of I'm gonna prove them wrong, I'm like a strong woman, and I don't give myself time to feel the feelings and to take them out of my body. So they end up building up and I will have a breakdown about something that happened like 6 months prior because I never gave myself time to heal. So make sure that you have people to talk to, whether that's your therapist or your best friend. If you're a talker, that is personally one of my go-to things. I turn on the camera, I talk about my feelings, I will call a friend, I'll just talk it out. You can run if that's your thing. One thing that I did is I would run in the rain while crying, and I know it sounds like a movie scene, but I promise that there's a reason they put it in the movies. It is cathartic. So talking, running, another big one is writing stream of consciousness in your journal, just all your thoughts, all your feelings, tears on the paper, let it all out. Do not hold anything inside because that will backfire, I promise. It's like this one quote I love referring to, which says, sometimes you gotta lose your shit, otherwise your shit is gonna be all bottled up inside you and then there's gonna be a shitstorm and nobody wants a shitstorm. So let your shit out, let it go. That is step one to healing from anything, but especially a breakup. The second thing that's going to help you get through a breakup is making sure that you have solid friends, solid people around you that you can spend lots of time with, that you can hang out with, and that you can talk through all this stuff with. I mentioned it in passing, but having those friends that are just going to listen and hold space for you is so important. I went through this about 5 months ago where I had this mini breakup with a guy I was seeing for like 3 months. Everything was fine and dandy, and then he just broke up with me out of nowhere. And my best friend Ula, she was there for me through it all. Like, I spent so much time at her house. We started hanging out more after work and on the weekends. We started going to the gym together. We just spent more time together as I was going through this. It doesn't mean that you're always going to be attached at the hip, but I think the first few weeks you definitely need to have people around you. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're probably like, Mary, but you're extroverted and I'm more introverted. I like to deal with things on my own. Okay. Let's just break this myth down. Regardless of whether you're introverted or extroverted, we are all social creatures and we all need love and support and affection around us. We all need to feel supported by people. So it doesn't matter if you want to spend hours and hours with your friends, like sometimes I do, or if you want to just spend 30 minutes with your friend, meeting them for coffee and just having that reassurance that there are people there for you, and then you can go home. But make sure that you do not isolate yourself. That is the last thing that you want to do, because what's going to happen when you isolate yourself? You're going to isolate yourself and it's going to perpetuate this story that nobody wants to hang out with me. And I know that is really tough to hear, but sometimes we put ourselves in situations and we choose certain thought patterns and then we make them come true. So after a breakup especially, this is hard because you just face some sort of rejection, some sort of heartbreak, some sort of falling out in a relationship. And what your mind is super tempted to do is to recreate those fallings out in your other relationships, because your mind just wants to replay the same story that's telling you that that you're not good enough, that's telling you that nobody loves you, that nobody wants to be there for you, that this didn't work out, so all your other future relationships aren't going to work out either. That is just your brain playing tricks on you. So don't let it do that. Don't isolate yourself. Spend time with friends who love you, who are going to be there for you and support you. Okay. Step 3, and this isn't really a step, this is kind of a thing that you must address, and that is, what do you do with all their stuff, the memories, the photos, all those kind of tangible things that you have? So one thing that I did when I went through my breakup is I took all the photos of me and my ex and I put them in a separate folder, and I hid that folder from myself. So I put it in like a separate account, and I pressed the hide button on iCloud so I wouldn't be able to see them all the time. And the reason why I did this is because I like to keep memories, and I know that a couple years from now, when I am healed from my relationship with that person, I'm still going to appreciate the memories that we made together. And now you may be different. You might want to just completely delete this person from your life, and I don't know your circumstance, so everything is valid here. But no matter what, make sure that you at least take the memories out of your space. So whether you're planning on keeping the pictures or keeping the things, the memorabilia, the cards, the jewelry, whatever, or not, make sure that you at least for your healing time, take it out of your physical space. So put all the stuff in a box, throw it in the garage where you're not going to look at it. Hide the photos. Make sure that the people around you aren't bringing this person up. Like, keep them out of your physical space, because that's going to help you not only A, not think about them, but B, also focus on yourself, because you're not always having this reoccurring reminder of what had happened. But make sure you don't do the thing where you're going through the photos and you're romanticizing the good times and forgetting all the bad times, all the times that they beat you down, that they didn't support you, that it didn't work out, that it just wasn't a good match. So this is why I recommend hiding all the stuff, because the stuff is usually a reminder of all the good times, but it doesn't show the full picture. And it tends to make our brain lie to us and think that everything was just so great and romantic when it really wasn't. So hide the things, hide the photos. Oh my God, that reminds me of how many years ago it was like, hide your kids, hide your wife. I totally butchered that. But do you remember that thing? It was like viral. It was everywhere. Yes. Step 4 of getting over a breakup, and this has a lot to do with finding self-love as well, is to marry yourself. Maybe you want to do a little ritual where you put a ring on your own finger and you declare that from this point forward, the number one person that you are going to be in partnership with is yourself. So that means everything that you do moving forward, everything that you would have possibly done with your former significant other, you are now going to do for yourself. Did you used to cook for them? Great. Now you're going to cook for yourself. Did you used to go on long walks on the beach or walk the dog outside with them every single night? Awesome. Now you're going to walk with yourself. Still bring your dog. But now you are going to do that by yourself. Did you used to go to the movies, to dinner, to nights out with friends? Did you guys used to have romantic talks at night? All of those things you can do with yourself. Yes, you can take yourself to dinner and a movie, and it is so liberating. Like, I promise it's going to be such a game changer the first time you take yourself out on a date. If you had late night pillow talk with this person, make sure that you have late night pillow talk with yourself. Write in your journal or talk to a friend, or if you're like me, just talk to yourself. Who cares? Do all these things for yourself, with yourself, by yourself, because when you learn to be comfortable alone, that is when you're going to find true healing and true self-love. And now I know that's easier said than done, and sometimes loneliness kicks in and it is so hard to deal with. But one thing that I have been practicing, and when I say practicing, I mean practicing, because honestly, loneliness is really hard for me to deal with. I am such a people person. I like people around me. Being alone kind of scares me. I do little comfort challenges for myself, and I put a time limit on it. So for example, I'll look at my calendar and say I don't have plans for Saturday morning. I'll be like, great, let me make a list of all the things that I've always said that I've wanted to do by myself, but I never do them. For example, reading, that's usually a one-person activity. Journaling is a one-person activity. Arts of any sort, dancing or singing or painting or writing, whatever you're into, that is a one-person activity. So make sure that you have time to yourself, for yourself, by yourself, and that is going to help you marry yourself. No pun intended. I mean, it's not really a pun for you because for me, it's like, oh, Mary married herself. So the fifth way to get over a breakup and find self-love is to travel somewhere. Now, this can be a part of the marry yourself step where you travel with yourself, for yourself, by yourself, or you can go with friends and make a whole trip out of it. Traveling is just so healing, and you don't have to be outrageous about it. I'm a dramatic person, and I decided that I am going to be outrageous about it, and I'm going to book a ticket on credit and go to Bali and have my eat, pray, love moment. And I did, and it was incredible. And then, long story short, I ended up falling in love, and that's how I host self-love retreats for women there, which is a whole nother story in and of itself, and it's amazing. Side note, realize the blessings in disguise that come out of the breakup. I know right now it may feel like there's nothing good that came out of it, but I promise that if you dig deep, there are things, there are experiences, there are people that you got closer to because of this person, because of this breakup. Even if it didn't work out, it still led you to where you are here today. It still gave you something. It still gave you a life lesson, a learning experience, or a trip to Bali or some new friends or whatever that may be. I always say everything happens for a reason. So seriously, if I didn't move to Canada for love and then have a breakup and then move back and then decided to go to Bali, then I would have never hosted a self-love retreat. And I would have never gotten close to the girl that I went to Bali with, who was my bestest friend at the time. And she was actually the girl who took these photos of me that went viral on Instagram. And if that hadn't happened, I wouldn't be sitting in front of you today. Everything happens for a reason. Oh my gosh, that's like a totally different topic in and of itself, but I just had to mention that. Maybe sit down and write a list of all the good things, all the blessings or the life lessons that came out of this relationship, this breakup. As hard as it may be now, I promise that it happened for a reason. Back to traveling, before I got on my soapbox, I was talking to you about how it doesn't have to be super outrageous. You don't have to fly all the way across the world. You can literally just go travel in your own town. When I lived in Calgary and my heartbreak happened, before I moved to Arizona, me and my best girlfriend would go up to the mountains and just go hiking. And it was like a 2-hour drive, but it was so worth it because the beauty, the vastness, just seeing the world, seeing different people, getting outside of your comfort zone, and just really branching out. And traveling helps you realize that there is so much more to life than what you've allowed yourself to live. There is just so much more out there for you. There's so many possibilities. There's so many people. There's so many lovers. There's so many partners out there for you. And you just need to get out of your box, get out of your routine in order to really see that and feel that. So I can't stress that enough. Travel, come out to a self-love retreat if you want to, but regardless, just get outside of your house and start exploring the world. So if you like this video and you want more videos on self-love, please give it a thumbs up and let me know in the comments below which tip resonated with you the most or if anything I said related to you. And make sure to join the self-love community by hitting the red subscribe button down below. And remember, my e-course on how to feel sexy in your skin is linked for you in the description. I love you all so much. I am sending you all the love and healing vibes, and I will see you next time. Mwah.